Okay, good day everyone. So we are now on our new lesson, which is supply chain management in hospitality. This part we're going to discuss the learning perspective inside the supply chain management. So a learning perspective means to say it involves the learning curve of the management or the people concerning the proper implementation of the supply chain. So of course, supply chain, as we have discussed so far, plays a very important role to the success of the business. No? Supply or controlling your supply as well as the reliable and efficient management of this supply would of course translate to a more responsive capability of the organization to meet the needs and the demands of the consumer, as well as maintaining the proper and efficient processes, as well as the check and balances of the supply chain will enables the management to produce a cost saving mechanism that will enables them to generate additional profit for the owners of the business, or they could pass on this savings or this cost saving measure to their customer so that their prices or the prices of their product remains relatively stable for a long time, or they could give their they could pass this discount in the form of extra savings for their loyal customer, or they could further increase the or put an additional quantity or additional, what they call this, for example, there are certain products that they're putting extra amount of additional grams. For example, for the case of sugar, they or detergent, commonly used in for detergents, no? So yun siya. So anyway, so para hindi tayo mahilo, let's proceed now with our next lesson. Okay. So for this lesson, we're going to uh, have this learning objective. Again, that is tatlo na naman siya, or three. Number one is to understand the importance of management capability. Number two is to assess the management capability. And number three, to propose a management strategies on utilizing these capabilities. So basically, we're going to discuss or study the underpinning concepts and principles on how the firm or the business could effectively and efficiently assess their management capability in relations to the learning curve. And of course, that is all connected to a specific areas of the business that we're going to study. That is a supply chain. Okay? Of course, syempre, kanya-kanyang side yan. No? The finances or the finance or the marketing, the operation has their own problem. But we're going to discuss it in this particular aspect sa suppliers natin or supply side, no? Para malinaw tayo. Okay? So first, let's define what's management capability. Capability first refers to the firm's ability to do something effectively. So basically, when you say you're capable, okay, I'm a capable person. So I mean to say you have this capability. So or capable from the word it's a capability, di ba? So there is an ability to do something that could affect or produce an effect. Okay. So that is the meaning of capability. So anong effect yun? Because syempre general siya. So of course, syempre, ano ba yung purpose ng business? Of course, to earn profit for your owners. And syempre, hindi naman pwedeng profit lang sa owners, no? So ano yan eh. Kumbaga sa ano, if you give profit to your owners, syempre may kapalit siya for customer, which is to give value for the customers natin or consumer. So ganun kasi, for me, I feel that the role of the business is it's a system that produce wealth for the owners or profit for the owners, value for the consumers or customers natin. Kasi if we're just focused on producing profit or wealth for our owners at the expense that we don't produce any value to our consumers or our customer, eventually in the long run, we were not going to become a successful business, no? Of course, technology, innovation, or competition would, of course, sooner or later will destroy our existing needs for us, no? Yung ating purpose natin do sa market na yon. So mawawala tayo dyan. Now, for us to really have or to remain sustainable for this industry, we have to make sure that we're meeting both the need of our consumers, and of course we cannot din naman natin pwede pabayaan yung need ng owners natin, because operating at loss, of course, there is a psychological impact niyan. So, syempre, ikaw na may owner ng business na yun, you're operating at loss, parang hindi ka nagagana magpumasok or hindi ka nagagana mag-invest kasi alam mo, nalulugi ka. Of course, that will be subpart to the operation of the business as well, which mean hindi rin siya sustainable pag hindi ka kumikita as a business. So you need both aspect, no? You need to produce value for your consumer. At the same time, it should be profitable, that it produce wealth for your owners, or in our case, corporation, that will be for the stockholders, no? Now, eventually it was defined by another authors, by Haynes and Pisano, which defines capability as the activities a firm can do better than its competitors. So mean to say, management capability is defined as the activity that creates a competitive advantage. So I say competitive advantage, that you can do something that nobody else in the market space could do, or you're doing something that that produces more value for your customer, or you can deliver that services at a less cost for your consumer. Okay, so that is still part of the value, no? Value chain pa rin siya. Something to do with the value, okay? So again, as highlighted by these authors, firms that without capability cannot enjoy a competitive advantage. And you know, for the fact that the market space right now for hospitality as well as the restaurant business is really a cutthroat business kahit wala pa po yung pandemic, because ang dami kasi pwedeng pumasok sa industry ng food and beverages. It's an open business, no? Anybody can put up a restaurant, but the next question is, how sustainable is this restaurant? And of course, as you observe, there are many businesses that relies to this kind of parang process flow ng kanilang thinking process, no? For example, bakit gusto mo food business? Or bakit you want to put a restaurant? Kasi that's my dream. And of course, most people would prefer food rather than other expenditure. Tama naman siya, may logic, diba? Kasi lahat ng tao kumakain, tapos pangarap mo siya. However, syempre, that's the first line of question. Pero hindi natin natanong sa sarili natin, yung tao na yun, mapapakain mo ba sa tamang presyo at sa tamang quality? Kasi syempre, yung pagkain na yun na i-offer natin, may balance yan, di ba? So, hindi naman lahat ng tao kakain ng mahal. Hindi naman lahat ng tao kakain ng di masarap. So, syempre, gusto natin, ma-meet natin talaga or ma-cater natin yung specific market. Let's be realistic, no? Kasi it's quite too vague. Kaya kadalasan yung mga restaurant businesses na nag-fail is because their strategic thinking and their concept nila medyo vague siya. Yung pagkain mo mahal and it's not really that good, and plus the fact na in location mo is not really accessible. So these are contributing factors that of course will enable your business to become profitable. Okay, let's move on. Next, another author defined management capability as a posited for performance of new product development, flexibility, efficiency, and market-based performance. So basically, these are the criteria that are being used to measure the management capability. But lastly, we're going to adopt the version of Mr. Kim, in his research or paper, which develops that management capability into three separate and distinct and interplaying variables such as controllability, flexibility, and integrating capability. So yun po yung ating definition ng management capability. Management capability refers to an ability of the management to compete. No? So meron daw siyang ability na to effectively compete, okay, to create a competitive advantage. No? So again, this could be measured with the following: controllability, flexibility, and integrating capability. So yun yung tatlong yun. So we're going to use this three. I-highlight ko. Yan. Yung tatlo na to. Oops, sorry. Next. The first among the three categories that we have here is what we call controllability. So it's composed of two words: control at ability. Of course, by its name, no? It's the ability of the firm to control its processes. Okay, I would like to emphasize what's the need for the firm to control its processes. Okay, there's a saying that by the former president of China, Chairman Deng Xiaoping, which mentioned that I don't care if the cat is black or white as long as it catches the mice. So meaning to say, it does not care what the means of achieving a certain goal. So wala siyang pakialam pa paano mong gagawin yung bagay na gusto niya, basta magawa mo lang siya. So of course, that's only pertaining to he wants the action to become effective. Okay. So tama naman siya in a sense. However, 'di ba pag you're working with limited resources, and of course businesses is under the duress, or they are always under the certain limitation of their finances and resources that's available for them, you cannot do that because you're creating lots of waste or inefficiency. So in business, you want to become effective, nagagawa mo yung gusto mo, you can be able to exert or produces the value for your customer, but at the same time, you want to make it cost effective, that you're not creating a lot of waste because of that process. For example, you can deliver the cake to your guests, wedding cake for your guests. However, if you're going to use, there are siguro nagkamali ka sa paggawa mo ng cake. In order to perfect that cake, nagkamali ka ng siguro mga benteng cake yung nagawa mo, pero hindi mo na siya ma-serve kasi nga mali or substandard siya sa criteria gusto ng client natin. For that, it's quite a lot of waste, no? So parang yung binayad sa'yo ng client mo, parang kulang pa dun sa in-exert mong effort plus the wastage plus the materials and time na ginamit ng mga tao in order to produce that. So, may mali sa proseso mo. So, mean to say, your process is not controlled or hindi siya, mababa ang kanyang controllability. So, for kitchen, ganun din, di ba? Kasi you want to create dishes like yung gusto ng chef natin or yung head chef, ganitong standard. However, syempre, kung marami ka na access ingredient at syempre, may mga pagkain hindi mo dapat siniserve sa guest, wastage na talaga siya. So, imagine niyo na kada ganun natin, merong luluto tayong dish, kada luto natin dish, meron tayong dalawang dish na nasasayang or hindi ina-accept for the serving to guests. So, ang laki natatapos sa negosyo. So, ganun po siya, kahalaga. So, dito, pumapasok din yung importance of checking our processes if it produce the desired result. Now, papasok dito yung Japanese philosophy na kata. Okay. Sa Japanese, hindi lang yung output, hindi lang outcome ang importante. It's not the outcome that is the most important aspect of any business. Hindi lang outcome. But we have to concentrate on the process sa kata, yung kata. Bakit? Kasi if the process is stable, it remains within the control, okay, the reliability of producing the same result will be almost 100%, di ba? So, ang gusto mo output ganito, so pag control yung process mo, lahat yan nagagawa na maayos at kung ano yung gustong lasa na achieve dahil kasi yung proseso mo, stable siya, mean to say, step by step na susundan siya, napapollow ng mga tao mo, may sistema kayo paano siya ginagawa na it remains consistent yung taste nyo. Of course, that will be a good process. You can expect that each product or output that's being produced by this process, it's remain within the range of your desired target output for the quality niya. No? So, ganun siya. So, imagine niyo, we'll give example for that later on. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng controllability. So, yan siya ha. Basahin niyo na lang po yung ating PowerPoint. Okay. Next. This one refers to flexibility. Again, two words na naman. Flex, meaning to say certain ability to flex. Ability, which is, yun nga, no? So it refers now to the ability of the firm to cope uncertainty, both internal and external. So anong ibig sabihin uncertainty, sir? Ano pinagsasabi niyo dyan? Uncertainty meaning to say there is an extra expectation for us to for example, there is an additional request for the customer to do that, yung customization, di ba? Sometimes, for example, for cars, gusto ng mga kliyente, may mga extra services, ko-customize yung paint, ko-customize yung interior ng kotse, mga ganun, di ba? Or for the hotel, di ba? Minsan gusto ng client na, ayoko ng room na yan, gusto ko yung garden, ocean view, tapos mataas na floor, tapos, yun nga, kaya nga meron tayo sa hotel na may mga suite room, junior suite, penthouse, deluxe room, standard room, kahit yung sukat naman niya is the same sukat pero naiiba lang because of the layout minsan, di ba? So, because of that flexibility, no? Now, here in general we're talking here the ability for the businesses to meet the extra needs and wants of the client, no? So that is what we call uncertainty, both internal and external. So that is one example ha. Hindi lang customer needs and wants lang siya. Sometimes it also may mga other factors that it affects yung flexibility ng process or ng business. Example, shortage of raw materials. Anong gagawin mo? Wala tayong flour. So anong gagawin natin, 'di ba? So how flexible is your process? Pwede ba tayo mag-serve or magluto without the flour? Pwede ba tayong cornstarch lang? Diba? So, yun. Of course, there are some dishes na hindi talaga flexible. For example, magluluto ka ng roux. Diba? Hindi talaga ubra sa roux kung cornstarch siya. Kasi, diba? Parang, ang roux kasi ginagamit natin siya pang thickening agent for French cuisine, diba? Ang cornstarch ginagamit siya pang Chinese. So, parang, hindi siya uubra, diba? Another example, pwede ba i-substitute yung pork sa beef? Okay, parang hindi rin uubra. Kasi alam naman natin, layo ng lasa, diba? So, yun siya. Now, going back to the flexibility, how, yung process mo ba, basically, it's a question that can you adapt to the changing needs and wants of the situation? For example, your client requests for di ba sa steak, ang luto ng steak is normally it's rare, medium done, and well done. So let's say, ang restaurant mo, nagsaserve ka lang ng well done. Dumating si client, gusto niya rare. So, kaya ba natin siya i-accommodate na rare? Kung alam niya, kung ang style or alam lang na style ng chef is well done. So, syempre, that's another question. Okay, bakit? Because we are in a business or yung ating hospitality industry kasi nasa spectrum ng malapit siya sa customer. So, most likely yung mga proseso natin, flexible talaga siya. Okay? So, yun siya. Kaya nga 'di ba another example din kaya 'di ba sa mga milk tea, so yung anong sugar level po, may mga ganun na tanungan 'di ba? So dati walang ganun. Kung ano yung sugar na nilalagay diyan tinatakal yung magtiis ka. Ngayon may mga flexibility na sila. Okay? So basahin niyo na lang po yung ating PowerPoint for your information pa rin siya. Okay? Next. So, bakit tayo maging concerned? So, balikan natin yung previous discussion last time no, sa ating lesson 2, which is all about value creation. Sabi natin ganito, no? Pag ang business mo is mas malapit ka sa supplier or mean to say, di ba three-phase tayo sa supply chain management? Meron tayong production, meron tayong distribution, saka meron tayong purchasing or procurement. Ngayon, ang customer, procurement siya. Okay? So, procurement or purchasing siya. Ang producer, syempre, supplier-producer, nasa production siya. So, siya yung taga-produce ng raw materials. Ngayon, tayo, most likely, nasa middle tayo, nasa distribution tayo. Now, syempre, ang distribution business mo, pag mas malapit ka sa customer, mas dapat, sabi natin last time, value creation, mas responsive ka. Okay, mas responsive ka. Okay? Responsive ka sa customer mo. So, mean to say, kung ano yung gusto niya, kung ano yung ayaw niya, dapat alam mo, dapat na-address mo yung kanyang needs and wants. Kumbaga sa yung customer kasi natin, particular in this industry, gusto nila customize, no? As much as possible. Okay. Now, if your business is near to the supplier side or the producer side, of course, hindi natin kailangan mag-customize. Ang kailangan mo is yung control or yung efficiency. 'Di ba? Kasi nga, konting, let's say, maksaya yung proseso mo, syempre, malaking pera nawawala. Kasi we're talking here, let's say, if we're talking in tonelada ng mga burger o isang truck ng soft drinks. So, syempre, malaking pera nawawala if your process is inefficient, diba? Minsan, kulang-kulang kayo ng soft drinks. Yung isang case, hindi pala napupuno yung truck ng isang case, diba? Mga ganun. So, yung isang case mo na yan, 10 times 30 trucks mo siya, sayang, diba? Sayang yung transportation cost. Okay? So, kaya dyan pumapasok yung ating controllability saka flexibility. Pag ang business mo, for example, restaurant, hotel, so flexible tayo. Pero depende pa rin siya sa format ng business mo, ha? Hindi ko sinasabing porket restaurant ka, flexible ka. Kasi later on, may mga businesses na katulad ng restaurant na hindi siya ganun ka-flexible. So, bigyan na natin siya ng example. Okay? Balikan ko muna yan. Ito muna, para sure tayo. Ano to? Burger, diba? So masasabi niyo, ito ba yung ordinary burger niyo na kinakain niyo sa isang fast food chain na kilala? Tawagin natin fast food chain J or Jack at fast food chain M, Mama. Okay. So hindi ko naman pwedeng sabihin ng mga pangalan dahil nasa tayo, okay? Or para academic discussion. Okay, di ba pag order ka sa fast food, standardized na yung ating burger. Pwede ka magpatanggal ng kanilang ingredient pero hindi ka pwede magpadagdag, 'di ba? Ganun tayo eh. For example, ay pwede niyo po bang ayoko po ng nung lettuce niyo kasi iceberg siya. Gusto ko romaine, palitan natin ng romaine. Ay, wag niyo na po lagyan ng ng tomato. Pwede 'yon kasi babawasan. Request mo yun nate-tailor siya. Flexible siya. Pero to add, mukhang hindi magagawa siya, 'di ba? Kasi never naman tayong pwedeng gawin yan sa mga fast food restaurant. Magpapa-add ka ng wala. Kasi nga, number one, it's a cost on the part of the restaurant. Number two, wala silang ganong raw materials, 'di ba? So, of course, babalik ulit tayo sa konsepto natin na yan, mag-order kami ng ingredient, raw materials para sa iyo lang. Of course, syempre, it will cost money for the business. Kasi ikaw lang naman yata umu-order niya. Yung ibang mga tao mukhang hindi umu-order niya. So, and we are serving burger here in this branch na 2,000 burger a day. So kung ikaw lang order na yan at we need to order 2,000 uh, 2,000 na worth or 2,000 worth na ingredient for that burger, mukhang lugi kami doon, di ba? So, yan siya. So, hindi siya pwedeng ipagawa sa mga ganong fast food restaurant. They're flexible in a way, pero yung flexibility nila, hindi kasi flexible ng mga fine dining restaurant. Okay. So, this burger, perhaps, baka nasa medyo upper end siya ng restaurant scale natin. Kasi di ba meron tayong fine dining, casual dining, fast food. So, mukhang hindi siya pang fast food na either niya sa casual siya or family restaurant. So, doon baka pwede tayo magpa-tailor pa. Pero syempre, they may also be constrained by the ingredient as well. Pero sure tayo if we're talking here luxury restaurant or yung mga fine dining burger or yung mga specialty restaurant, okay, they could afford to, tailor fit your request for your burger. Example, ay gusto ko yung meat ko beef na grass-fed lang siya kasi may mga ganong customer. Ay, okay ba? Meron ba kayo parang vegan na yung burger ko vegan siya. Yung may tinatawag sa ng brand, ang pangalan ay Go Beyond Burger. So it tastes like beef pero kinakain mo plant-based, 'di ba? So may mga ganong arte. Try mo subukan yan gawin sa sa fast food restaurant dyan sa SM. Mukhang hindi ka, pinagsasabi mo, plant-based burger. Wala naman ganun, di ba? So, syempre, that's flexibility. Yung process nila, gusto nila controllable siya or controllability because if they're going to order 2,000 burger a day, so they would want to make sure that they will take advantage of the quantity of the raw materials. Kasi nga, mas marami kang order na raw mats, mas may discount. There is an economy of scale. Ngayon, ikaw naman, nagmamaganda ka doon or special request ka doon, hindi ka pagbibigyan doon kasi ikaw lang naman yun, walang volume doon, di ba? So parang it will just cost the business, no? So parang hindi sila ganun. Now, for more flexible restaurant like special dining restaurant, so mukhang mapagbibigyan ka, and of course they're much more willing to do your bidding, but of course that entails extra price for you, so mas mahal ang kanilang product. Okay, so that explain why bakit, or ito yung nag-explain bakit yung mga burger pare-pares lang burger pero mas mahal ang binabayad mo doon sa isang restaurant kumpara sa fast food because of the degree of flexibility. Okay? So, yun po yung konsepto natin dito. So, going back, there is a trade-off between flexibility and controllability. Kasi controllability, main purpose mo, you want to make sure that the process remains stable. There means no wastage, okay? So you want to make sure that the ingredient being used is the same, the process use the same ingredient as much as possible. For example, never ka makakita ng isang fast food restaurant na hindi nagma-maximize ng same raw materials. For example, for burger, lettuce, lahat yan may lettuce. Tomato, may tomato. Now, kay Wendy's, they could use yung kanilang raw materials for their burger to salad, di ba? Or maaring ang salad muna siya tapos saka nag-burger, di ba? Pero, yun. So, parang nagkakaroon siya ng kailangan yung raw materials mo nagagamit siya across the product line. Kasi nga, hindi pwedeng isang beses lang siya nagagamit kasi order ka niyan volume di ba? So, wala siyang cost efficiency. Okay? So that's what we mean by controllability. Now, flexibility naman, yun naman yung ability to react with your customer or in case other variables such as shortage, such as yung nagkaroon ng other concern, let's say health concern about the certain ingredient, kaya mo ba mag-serve ng product mo without this ingredient? Or could you modify your product without affecting the established quality? Mga ganun. Okay? So yun siya. In the short run, meron siyang kontrapelo. Example. So, use. So let's say your flexibility, ito siya, mataas. Pero yung controllability mo, meaning to say yung process mo, hindi siya ganun ka-controllable kasi of course you introduce flexibility. When you introduce flexibility, you're willing to trade off your ingredient, you're willing to have more ingredient, but having more ingredient means having more factors to control. So by having more factors to control, your process is not that, hindi siya ganun ka-stable because mas marami kang ingredient na babantayan. Diba? Example, may cauliflower ka, may lettuce ka, carrots ka, meron kang potato, meron kang cheese. Ngayon, syempre, alam naman natin, cauliflower, diba, may mga sira-sira minsan siya. So, syempre, pag nakalusot yan, patay na, diba? So, yung controllability mo, it will now, you're forced to spend more manpower to make sure or to check the quality of the ingredient because ang dami nga ng ingredient mo for that process. Ngayon, pag streamline mo naman siya, mas controllable naman yung proseso mo. Okay? Mas madali siya makontrol. Kasi nga, ang kailangan mo lang naman lettuce, cheese, saka tomato. Yun lang. Wala ka ng carrots, potato, cauliflower, beans, broccoli. Wala nang ganon. So, yung quality, madali na siya ma-check. Okay? Konting manpower lang kailangan mo to check for that. Now, if we're talking here, isang salad lang, wala nang tayong pakialam. So, go lang yan. Pero if we're talking here, yung fast food business na you're going to feed for 2,000 people or 2,000 servings a day. So, syempre, kailangan mo i-monitor yung quality. Diba? Kasi kung sa bahay nyo lang, wala nang ganun-ganun. Alam na yan eh. Restaurant to, diba? So, parang dapat concerned ka kasi syempre, perception ng business yan. So, masira yung isang food nyo, alam na, diba? Tulpo na yan or ano na, issue na siya. So what you notice is nag-increase yung controllability, the ability to maintain the standard while yung flexibility mo na-reduce kasi syempre hindi ka na pwede mag-offer ng personalization ng salad mo. Ay, gusto ko yung salad ko may potato saka corn. Wala nang ganun mga kasi ingredient na namin, tomato saka salad saka cheese. Yun lang. Okay? So ganun siya. So in the short run, may trade-off siya. Pero long run, yun na. Wala. Okay. Bakit? Tingnan nyo. In the long run kasi, so when you say long run, eventually, yung business, nakapag-adapt na siya. Okay, nag-increase yung kanyang learning curve. Kasi, parang tao din yan, di ba? So tayo, natututunan na natin yung proseso, mas bumibilis tayo, mas kahit nakapikit, magagawa mo na siya. Kasi nga, ginagawa mo na siya for 2 years, di ba? Matututo ka na talaga noon. So yun siya, nag-i-increase. So from this responsive, or what we call, from this learning, yung existing responsive, yung capability mo, or responsiveness mo, yan. Nag-increase ngayon siya. Kasi nga, may learning curve. Meaning to say, natututo ka. Kaya nga tayo may tinatawag na integrating capability. Na-integrate mo na yung dalawang ability na yon. Okay? So meaning to say, integrating capability is a function of time performing certain tasks. Okay? Okay, certain tasks. Eventually, nag-i-increase yung capacity mo to improve. Kasi nga, mas bumibilis ka na, mas alam mo na ginagawa mo. Kasi nga, di ba, of course, in restaurant opening natin, let's say kayo mag-establish yung restaurant mo, or you're going to put your first maiden business mo, of course, everybody is praying and counting for your success. However, let's be realistic about it. The probability of your success during your first attempt of your business it's very slim, 'di ba? Maiden nga eh. So meaning to say, yung owner, yung entrepreneur, wala pa yung foundation ng core skills and values na sa kanya. So basically, kahit ayaw natin na mag-fail siya, pero probability statistically magfe-fail siya. Kasi nga, yun talaga eh. Yun ang ano eh, di ba? Magfe-fail talaga yan. Kaya sa business, it's always 10 or out of 10 business, 2 or 3 lang ang naging successful. Bakit? Kasi nga, learning curve. Okay? So yung entrepreneur, natututo siya. Yung tao, natututo. Yung negosyo, yung mga empleyado, natututo din siya. Ngayon, pag hindi ka matuto, matagal ka matuto, yan ang problema. Kasi baka hindi lang hanggang 10 yan, maka 20. So but that time siguro mo kung kailangan mo na maging empleyado, huwag ka na magnegosyo kasi nga slow learner ka. Wala nang kapital, di ba? So ganun siya. Okay? So that's how business works. Okay? Yung ating dynamic dito. Ganun din po sa internal processes ng negosyo. Okay? Let's go. Now, integrating capability is a mitigating factor siya. Pag sinabing mitigating factor, it lessens the trade-off between your desire to control your process and your desire to modify the process in order to serve your customer or address certain situations that are not expected in the normal in the day-to-day operation. So yan po yung ibig sabihin ng flexibility at controllability. Okay? Yun siya. Kumbaga sa makina, naging ano naman tayo masyadong specific. Kumbaga sa machine, gusto mo marami kang magawa. Okay? So let's say machine na blender, gusto mo marami kang magawa sa blender mo, marami kang dough na ma-blend, 'di ba, sa blender. However, syempre, gusto mo rin yung makina mo na blender, hindi lang siya nagagamit for tinapay or for dough. Gusto mo rin nagagamit siya sa chocolate, ganyan. However, syempre, kung gusto mo siya maggamit sa iba pang bagay, magle-lessen yung ability niya to cater for specific or for your dough. Kasi nga, syempre, i-adapt mo yung motor, i-adapt mo yung mechanism ng machines mo, di ba? For other objects or for other tasks. In that sense, mababawasan yung efficiency niya dun sa dough or sa tinapay. Okay? So that's one example probably. So kung may naisip pa kayo, share nyo lang ha. Huwag mahiya. Yan. So integrating capability is the firm's ability to integrate, coordinate diverse functions and parts of its value chain embodied in all over operations, effectiveness, and new product innovation. So for short, it's their ability to integrate nga diba? To mix everything in harmony for them to be able to become effective and efficient in their processes. Okay, so that's the key term here. Now, I would like to share to you a movie. Sorry, naputol yung ating ano. Ang pangalan niya is Jiro Dream of Sushi. So si Jiro, siya po yung matanda. Siya si Jiro. Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Ngayon, okay, in this movie, it's really amazing na for you to become a master sushi chef, it takes lots of practice, lots of dedication, and of course, time and patience. For example, yung apprentice niya, 5 years na siya nagsasaing. Sasaing siya ng rice. Kasi for sushi to become an excellent sushi, kailangan niya yung proper consistency ng mixture ng vinegar saka ng rice. So, may apprentice siya 5 years na, almost 5 to 10 years na nagpa-practice for them to be able to create consistently yung dessert quality ng sushi rice na ginagamit before proceeding now to other tasks, cutting of fish, diba, yung mga iba pang ginagawa sa sushi. So you will have a sense na how intricate is this process. No, they would want to make sure that their process is within the control. Okay, kasi nga sa food industry kasi, sa restaurant, ang quality control natin dyan, yung ating chef, di ba? Ang ating proseso, yung kanilang experience. Kaya, di ba, pagkakain ka sa fine dining restaurant, napakamahal because yung binabayaran mo doon is yung kanilang experience. Yun yung binabayaran mo. Aside from the raw materials, di ba? Yun siya. Because in this business, we tailor their reputation, experience, the raw materials, the quality of the raw materials equals to the pricing of the food or restaurant bill natin. Okay? Going. Okay. So these are the chain of capability. Meaning to say this is part of the management capability, still part of the management capability. Sinabi lang siyang chain because it's tagni-tagni. Okay. Tagni-tagni, or mean to say it increase in a certain level. Para siyang parang cornerstone brick, tapos you laid upon another brick again, and you laid upon another brick again. So parang hollow blocks din yan, no? Naglagay ka ng hollow blocks sa ibaba, naglalagay ka, papatong ka ng hollow blocks again, tapos patong ka na, kasi makabuo ka ng pader. So ganun yung logic dito. So I will share to you some example in the textbook, no, or in the literature. Basic capability, ito yung in-expect natin for everybody in this organization, in this firm to possess. Okay. For example, in mechanical engineering or in manufacturing of cars, everybody is expected to have the following. They have to be aware of the processes, manufacturing, safety, di ba? Kaya di ba sa mga construction, may safety first, di ba? So everybody in the construction field, they are required to wear their protective gear. So part of their expectation that everybody is safe or personal safety conscious sila. Okay. Another thing is, of course, yung work ethics, how to deal with people, what's your perspective of the work. Okay. So yun palang basic capability. Yun yung pinaka in-expect na sa'yo ng tao. Okay. In-expect ng firm sa'yo for you to possess. Now, for you to be able to do your tasks. Okay. Example, sa construction, hindi naman lahat yung marunong mag-welding, hindi naman lahat yung marunong mag-cut. Okay. Ito specific na siya sa gagawin mo. For example, pumasok ka sa manufacturing, welder ka, of course, marunong ka dapat mag-welding. Cutter ka, marunong ka dapat mag-cutting. So specific siya sa process mo. Next, system level. Ito naman sa unit mo. Okay, or mean to say sa organization. Okay. Sample, new product capability. Siyempre, ano yan, R&D. Design, siyempre, R&D siya, marketing. Lead time, siyempre, operations yan, diba? Next, responsiveness, operations yan. Of course, each one of them has a contributing factor. So para siyang pa-increase ng pa-increase, just like my example, hollow blocks, diba? So from down level, may papatong na next capability, papatong naman next capability. Para siyang ano, no, para siyang Jenga, or para siyang building blocks of capability. Ang ending niyan, of course, syempre, you have increased revenue, increased profit, and customer satisfaction. Now, that's for manufacturing. Now, let's go for the tourism side or HRM side. So my example to you is for luxury cruise or cruise liners. No? So ito yung basic capability. So pagpapasok ka sa cruise line, sa barko, everybody dun sa ship or sa organization na yon, from your manning agency down to your agency per se, let's say Royal Caribbean or Star Cruise or Genting Highland Cruise, okay? Or we have Princess Cruise Line. So everybody is expecting to have the following skills. You know how to speak English. You have taken the SOLAS, okay? And of course, you're okay for work. I mean to say psychologically, personality wise, you're okay for work. So you have the work ethics. Now, syempre, kung wala yan, hindi ka makakasakay ng barko. That's basic eh. Wala kang solas, hindi ka makatalon. Diba? So, paano yan? Ililigtas ka pa ng pasahero mo. Eh, di ba nga, dapat nga, kaya kayo may solas bilang mga seaman doon sa barko na yon na pag nagkalubugan niya, kayo magliligtas sa mga pasahero. That's the logic behind that. Diba? Eh, kung wala kang solas, eh, ikaw pa ililigtas ng pasahero. Diba? So, burden pa pa. Okay. Next, process level capability. Ito na yung specific sa gagawin mo dun sa barko. Kasi process nga, di ba? So, for example, for culinary, so syempre, marunong ka magluto. Hindi ka man pwedeng sumakay ng barko nang hindi ka marunong magluto. Or let's say, food server ka or attendant ka, F&B service. Hindi ka pwedeng sumampa doon ng wala kang may solas naman ako, communication skills, saka work ethics. Eh, ang gagawin mo doon, food attendant, paano? But, doon na lang magte-train. Siyempre, mahirap naman yata yun, di ba? May adjustment pa, gagastos ang company. Susugal ang kumpanya sa'yo, hindi ka pa naman pala marunong mag-serve. So, ganun, di ba? Next, system level capability. Meaning to say, ito na yung, because you're doing your work, okay, as an organization, as a unit, okay, you're able to first accomplish a butler service. You can be able to do personalization of your service. Let's say for F&B services yan. And you can have for culinary, no? So dahil sa magluto, galing magluto, and your menu is top-notch. You can have this luxury or pagiging luxury ng cruise line nyo because of course, your ambience, your facility, your design, and of course, your gourmet food. Okay, yan ang mga ingredient eh. Okay, so yan siya. Okay, so now for the last part of this lecture, we have two types of improvement. So we have the incremental and radical. So I have here a picture of this guy, 2013 to 2018. So you will see that there is an incremental change of his looks, no? From young boy to a very good looking guy. Okay. Now, next picture. Incremental ba o radical? Sir, parang radical yata. Correct. Kasi nga, from his old picture to his new picture. So if you ask me, how did he do that? Of course, that is beauty under, diba? Under the blade. No? So, syempre, nag-cosmetic surgery siya. Okay. So, what's the lesson here? So, bakit may picture-picture pa kayo, sir, na nalalaman? Okay. Ang lesson dyan ganito. In business, there are two types of improvement. Now, bakit nga pala kailangan natin mag-improve? Or why do business should improve? Okay. To answer that, a business could survive the environment, okay, only if the business is adapting itself. So meaning to say, it's not the may nagsabi nga no. So it's not the smartest, it's not the strongest that survives or thrives in the ever-changing world, but the most or the organism that is capable to adapt. Okay, so that is the blessing of evolution. So tayo, kung hindi tayo marunong mag-adapt sa human being, wala na tayo. Okay? So we're so good to adapt that we can even change the environment in our liking, diba? So if our ancestor has unable or hindi sila nag-adapt, malamang wala na tayo sa ating generation ngayon. Okay? So adaptability refers to business survival. Now, if you want to survive and continuously to survive for the next period of time, which is what we call business sustainability, you need to improve. And of course, one of the key reasons why most businesses that are legacy businesses such as Kodak, such as other brands, restaurants that you might know during your childhood days na wala na. It's because they failed to improve, they failed to innovate. No, there again, innovation is essential for business because our customers' needs and wants are ever changing. Hindi siya static. Siguro yung static lang yung rice. Pero even the rice, no, even our bigas, hindi siya static yung needs and wants natin. Bakit? Dati kasi okay na sa ating NFA or yung quality ng rice, maliliit ang butil. Ngayon hindi na, tumataas ang standard natin because we could afford to pay. Diba? So, ganun siya eh. Or because there is a technological development. Yung rice before, maliliit ang butil because that's ungenetically modified. Ngayon, namomodify na siya. And of course, how can you sold your maliliit na butil ng rice mo at a premium price over yung medyo malalaking butil na long grain rice, diba? So, if we're going to sell that at 45 or 47 pesos, baka bumili na lang ako ng mahaba na long grain rice kasi mas maganda siya, diba? At 47, same price. So, ikaw, wala ka ng competition, wala ka ng competitive edge, diba? So, yun siya. Okay? So, for restaurant, the same thing. Ganun din naman yan, diba? Bakit ba ang Jollibee, ba't ba proud Jollibee owners? Bakit ba ang Jollibee palagi siyang nagiging, tingin ko, of course, with bias na yan kasi syempre, I'm part of the stockholder or shareholder tayo. Niniwala tayo kay Jollibee. Nagiging sustainable siya. Tingin ko for the next 20 years, Jollibee will, still Jollibee. And of course, that's part of the Filipino culture. Diba? Bata ako, Jollibee na yan. So, siguro pag lolo na ako, namatay na ako, magiging Jollibee pa rin yan. So, I believe in that logic, no? Kasi nga, yung Jollibee, nag-evolve, di ba? Nag-improve. May mga restaurant kasi hindi nag-improve. So, syempre, alam nyo na kahinatnan yan. Kasi nga, ang food, slow to evolve siya, pero nag-evolve pa rin. Di ba? You need to improve. Okay? So, there are two types of improvement that we could see in a business. We have the radical and incremental. Again, the picture again. Radical, incremental. So ano ba ang gusto yung klaseng improvement ang hinahanap nyo? For me, as I invest in equity markets, stocks, I would want to see an incremental improvement because what I'm buying is for that business is the system. So if I see that the system is continuously improving, may trend siya at may historical record na nag-improve gradually, incrementally, Of course, eventually, para siyang ganito eh. Okay. Yung pupuntahan niya, mapupuntahan din naman. Incremental siya in a way na yung changes niya, hindi siya ganun ka-drastic. Of course, that commits less resources in case na magkaroon ng palpak or mistake. So, mas safer side siya. Okay? And the learning is less of, para siyang parang unti-unti siya. Parang siyang trial and error na of course, hindi ganun kalaki yung risk. Okay? Now, for radical improvement refers to changes that involves commitment of resources. Let's say 80% of the firm's resources are committed. Ang problema kasi dyan, kaya hindi ako masyado believe for radical improvement is baka hindi na siya maulit. Kasi sa incremental, nagawa mo before, nagawa nyo ngayon, malamang magagawa nyo next year. At malamang kung nagawa nyo next year siya, nagawa nyo ngayon, nagawa nyo last year, magagawa nyo after next 2 years, diba? So kasi naka-built-in siya sa sistema, sa structure ng business. Yung radical improvement kasi, normally, may external factors baka siya nangyayari. Meron sigurong breakthrough research. Hindi naman natin sure kung mauulit-ulit siya, di ba? May mga ganun kasi mga negosyo. Patok, pero later on, as times goes by, hindi na siya ganun kapatok or hindi na siya nauulit. Para siyang mga movie, kaya mahirap mag-invest sa mga movie, 'di ba? Mga blockbuster, hindi mo alam kung sino diyan yung kikita, 'di ba? Hindi natin sure, 'di ba? So ganun tayo. So sa negosyo, for my perspective, I prefer those business that has a strong track record of incremental changes because their their process is much more controllable and there is a sense of reliability and assurance on my part. Kasi syempre, lalagay ka na ng pera mo, negosyo or ng puhunan. Gusto mo yung parang mukhang reliable siya, diba? Kasi nga, ang tanong kasi ganito siya. Saan ka mag-i-invest? Doon sa posible mag 1,000x yung pera mo or after 10 years or mag 1,000x naman yung pera mo after siguro 40 years. Pero probability rate naman nun nasa almost 80%. Yung isa naman, probability rate naman ng 1,000x kagad ng pera mo after 5 years. Nasa 5%. So, syempre doon ako doon sa medyo sigurado kasi syempre pera pa rin naman siya. Mawawala. Ba? Pero depende rin yan. Depende sa perspective natin. Kasi kanya-kanya tayo ng perspective. Okay? So, yun lang na may perspective ko. Okay, to share that, one example, again, bias ako dito. I've been holding their company, stocks nila. So, I've been shareholder of Jollibee for quite time. So, medyo biased tayo. Jollibee Food Corporation is, they have, of course, the history niya. They start with Jollibee first, then eventually they branch out with Chowking, eventually, dahil medyo mataas ang competition ni Mang Inasal, binili nila si Mang Inasal and then they partnered in with the owner of the Mang Inasal to another business and they also acquired other businesses, yung franchise natin for Hard Rock, Dunkin' Donut, the Coffee Bean, Tim Ho Wan, and Smash Burger. So basically, yung profile niya for Jollibee, I'm quite confident that they will be sustainable and I could see the potential growth for this business, yung kanilang negosyo because yung kanilang sistema nandoon na kasi napuunlad nila yung Jollibee, nakapag-create sila ng sariling brand. Ngayon, ang ginagawa naman nila para mapabilis na yung kanilang proseso, nag-acquire na lang sila ng franchise, master franchise sa Philippines. At the same time, sila naman yung nag-export ng kanilang brands abroad. So, ganun ang kanilang strategy. Okay? Which I feel that it will work, diba? So, feel ko lang based on my research. Okay. For this naman, si McDo, under siya ng isang company pangalan Alliance Global. So, basically, master franchisee Alliance Global sa buong Philippines. So, you can see medyo limited din kanyang proseso. It's more of the, kumbaga sa process niya kasi, talagang control na control siya. Kasi bakit? Kasi they have to adopt or they have to follow the international McDo standard. Okay? Hindi siya pwedeng gumawa ng sarili niya. Okay? So that's the beauty, I think, for those organizations that have a strong incremental improvement. Eventually, improvement niya, napapractice niya, eventually branch out now to another business or another another business in their portfolio. Okay. So another example for hospitality is what we call the Intercontinental Hotel Group. So they started as Holiday Inn. Eventually, they branched out to other hotels such as Intercontinental Hotel for the luxury line, Crown Plaza for the 5-star hotel. But they also have some yung tinatawag nating medyo affordable line. They have Holiday Inn Express, medyo lower category. And also they have some local brands na hindi siya available for the Philippines, no? And they have also condotels. So ganun siya. Core competency is hotel business and then they branch out for luxury, Crown Plaza, Intercontinental Group. Tapos medyo lower end, Holiday Inn Express. Okay? So ganun siya. Oops. Yan. So I think we end our discussion for this side na, again, we're going to recap for our objective. Our objective is, now we have understood the importance of management capability, that management capability determines the business success in terms of their ability to control their process, or controllability, the ability to control their process and to avoid inefficiency, wastage, or difficulties of controlling their quality. Flexibility, their ability to handle or cater external, internal uncertainties. And finally, this is unified under the category what we call integrative capability, in which the system, business as a system, kasi it's a system, no, is capable of combining all the efforts of the different organizations or units in the business in order to produce value for the customer at the least amount required, at the least possible wastage for resources. Okay. And finally, propose management strategies on utilizing these capabilities. As we've shown you, or as I tour you around with the presentation, there are certain companies such as Jollibee Food Corporation that enables their to extend their continuous product improvement to prolong their business profile or business profile nila. Jollibee is still the Jollibee, no? So because of their continuous improvement, incremental improvement rather. Kasi baka sabihin niyo radical. Kasi 'di ba radical, nag-introduce sila ng, let's say Jollibee, meron na silang tea, 'di ba? Iced tea meron, pero yung hot tea, yung mga oolong, mga green tea, walang gano'n, 'di ba? So, incremental masyado 'yon. It's out of their line. So 'yun. Because of that ability to incrementally improve themselves, they have harnessed this what we call integrating capability to 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 learn the in and outs of the franchising business, so that they could also build another brands out of their original brand, which is Jollibee. So they have built Chowking and Pizza Hut, diba? So still, and also to extend it in other closely allied businesses such as Red Ribbon. Meron pa silang restaurant na French baker, yan. So sa kanila. So these are examples of strategies. Okay, so yun siya. And also we take note that strong businesses tends to become incremental, or meron siyang strong incremental improvement. Yung mga businesses na, there are some certain businesses na nag-hit naman pero radical. So I mean to say the success of these radical changes is highly unlikely, kasi nga syempre so radical, hindi niya siya ma-replicate, no? So if you're an investor, I suggest you go for the incremental improvements. Okay, so I think that's all, and that recaps everything for the lesson. And of course, we'll have a quiz for this lecture as well. So yun lang. So good luck and have a nice day.